So I'd love to share with you how I became a special needs attorney in the first place. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Ellen Cookman and I'm an estate planning attorney who specializes in special needs planning. On this channel, we're going to talk about how to set up a special needs trust to protect your loved one who has special needs. We'll talk about the importance of setting up a trust, what's the difference between a regular trust and a special needs trust, regular estate planning, a revocable living trust, how to avoid probate, trust administration, and many other relevant topics. If this information sounds useful to you, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you'll be notified when new videos come out every week. I'm a certified specialist in estate planning, and my law firm has helped hundreds of families navigate the complicated process of setting up their estate plan with special needs components. I'm excited to share all of the knowledge that we've learned over the years with you. So the journey starts really back in 2003. I graduated from UC Berkeley for law school, which was great. And then I did a one-year clerkship in Philadelphia for the chief judge of the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. Awesome experience. And then I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do with my law degree. But I knew I wanted to come back to California because Philadelphia is way too cold. So I'm a wimp, all right? So I flew back and I actually lined up a job at a big firm doing patent and securities litigation. I didn't know anything about this, but because I had gone to a math and engineering college for a year and a half, they figured, oh, I must know a lot about science, which is not really the case. So I worked at Morrison & Foerster for 3 years, and I have to say, I got some great training there, and the people there were lovely, but the subject matter itself was not for me. I'm not a litigator. I don't like doing fights. I don't like writing nasty emails that, little backhanded compliment, those sorts of things. That's just not me. And so after 3 years, also billable hours are awful. So after 3 years of doing that, I said, I can't do this anymore. What am I going to do with my life? And I found that whenever I don't know what I'm doing with my life, I go and teach. So I come from a family of lawyers and teachers. And before I went to law school, I actually lived in Tokyo for several years, and I taught at the American School in Japan nursery kindergarten. I taught music in the library. So I thought, okay, well, I can teach again. And I had a roommate who was teaching at a small private school in Palo Alto called Hope Technology School. And this is a school that does full inclusion for typical and special needs kids. And my roommate told me that they're looking for someone to start the high school program there and also to teach middle school math and science. So I thought, well, why not? Let me teach for a little while I'm figuring out what do I want to do with this law degree. So I taught there. They quickly figured out I'm not a science teacher, but I love teaching middle school math, and I did start the high school program. And while I was teaching there was an attorney who gave a presentation to the parent support group there on special needs trusts. And I remember going to that attorney's presentation, and she was talking about how she helps her clients, and she talks with them about who they love and what they have and setting things up for success. And I thought, hey, I could do this. I also remember she was 8 months pregnant with her third child. And I thought, oh, you can have a family and do this too? That sounds great. And then I remember walking with her to her car where she was parked, and she was driving a black BMW. And I thought, oh, you can make a living and do this too? That sounds awesome. So then I started a search to see, what is this all about? And I learned that as a special needs planner, it's really not just special needs planning. You have to understand the entire estate planning perspective and how special needs planning works within that. So I looked around and I found a job at a small firm that does estate planning and special needs planning in Palo Alto. And I was there for 4 years. And then I worked at another firm in the same area in Palo Alto for 2 more years. But at both firms, it was just clear that it wasn't quite the right fit for me. And so I was like, what am I going to do next? Am I going to be an associate at yet another firm? Am I going to try to be of counsel? And a lot of people said, hey, Ellen, you could start your own practice. And I thought, well, that's crazy. I've never wanted to run my own business. That's not what my family does. What are you talking about? But I decided, let me give it a try. And so in 2015, I hung out my own shingle, Cookman Law, and it's been a blast. And from day one, we've been serving the regular community and the special needs community. I'd say about half of my clients have special needs issues, and I love it. I love helping people sleep at night knowing that they've set up their kids for success with their special needs planning. It also turns out my husband was a special ed teacher for many years, and when we were first married, he also was teaching at different high schools. He liked teaching high school special ed. He was a resource teacher at these different schools. But when I started my own practice, he was laid off from his position and he actually started working for me. So he was my assistant for 3 years doing all the paperwork, which was really generous of him because he hates doing paperwork. So that's how it worked. After 3 years, I was able to establish my own staff. And now, as of the time of this recording, there's 7 of us on staff. I have an associate attorney, 2 paralegals, and 3 other staff members, and we love it. We have the best time as a team. And I'm so glad that I get to be involved in the special needs community, particularly here in the Bay Area, to help families with this really complicated planning, and also that I can help people with taxes, because you may not know, but estate planning involves 5 different types of taxes. So we want to make sure that everything's set up right. It's really not do-it-yourself because of that. I'm excited waking up in the morning, being able to help different families learn about their families, what makes them tick, how can we really help the best, and it's so fulfilling. So after working with estate planning and special needs planning for, I'd say, 5 or 6 years, I actually had a son, Caleb, who's such a delight. And when he turned 4, he was diagnosed with high-functioning autism. So at that point, I went from being an advocate in the special needs community to a parent with a special needs child. And so I understand what it's like to drive your kid around to the different, to physical therapy, and we did pivotal response therapy with him, which was very, very successful. He's doing great. And in fact, and we also have a younger son, Isaac, and both of them attend the same school, Hope Technology School, that I taught at many years ago when I learned about special needs planning. So I feel like it's full circle. Thank you so much for listening to my story, and I look forward to connecting.